Good Monday afternoon to you all. I am Ryan here with Michigan Storm Chasers. Got a few things to talk about the upcoming week. We had a video up last night and also a live stream. If you guys didn't catch that, this will all be new to you. Would go ahead and suggest going back to at least the video from last night, be titled An Upcoming Week or A Busy Week Ahead, I believe it's called. Feel free to check that out. But we have a few things to talk about, starting with today's storm chances and then focusing a little bit more heavily on Tropical Storm Beryl as it moves toward Michigan. And then also the late week, we have some activity perhaps about to ramp up here as we get toward this weekend. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Keep this as short as possible. We do have, again, the general thunderstorm risk in place for the entire state. The UP and the LP all fall within a general thunderstorm risk. There is currently no severe risk from the SPC for today, which is Monday, July 8th. Now, we mentioned last night that we could see a stronger storm or two try to take shape today, and that still appears to be the case, although the concern is coming down just a bit. So looking at the latest guidance here on our models, go ahead and zoom. Okay, we'll leave it right here for now. We'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit later. Looking at how it's going to evolve today, we get to the afternoon. Here's 1 o'clock. Here's 2 o'clock. We start seeing some pop-ups here over in Wisconsin across the lake. The later we get in the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, those will start popping up across our state here in Michigan. Now, these storms do not look to be that strong or severe, but the environment remains the same overall across the state, where we overlap the wind shear with instability. We are going to get a decent look right about here. It's not a very good environment here. It's only showing up on the greens and the lighter greens. It's not a widespread environment, just kind of like we call pinpricks, so to speak, where certain places may have a better atmosphere. If we get like a lake breeze boundary today or something that could, spark some lift and maybe some spin or some shear, we may see a storm or two try to be strong or perhaps severe today. Overall concern for that is quite low, but the chance for some showers and pop-up storms today across the entire state remains. No one location has a better chance than another. It's just going to be a general day to kind of keep an eye on the radar if you have outdoor plans. Don't plan your day around this at all. Nothing to be too concerned about here. But just keep in mind that one or two storms may try to be strong or perhaps severe today. Again, that chance is quite low overall. All right. So moving out of today, which is your general thunderstorm risk, we are still tracking tropical storm / tropical depression Beryl. The latest National Hurricane Center outlook here does have Beryl moving up again into Indiana, into Ohio, into southeast Michigan, and the center of that track. That would give us a more favorable track here for heavy rainfall, but also the latest guidance this morning we're looking at on the models is starting to trend a bit westward. If it trends more westward, severe weather chances will then increase. Let's go ahead and dive into some models here really quickly, but we're going to focus heavily right now on the overall flash flooding concerns we're going to have with this tropical depression. But first, the overall depiction of radar via the NAM3 model. We have the NAM3 and the RRFS model to go off of. We're just going to show you the NAM3, as most all these models are in pretty good agreement as of right now. So looking at how this is going to evolve, we're going to focus on South Michigan for this because that's going to be the line of fire here. Let's go ahead and zoom into our floater screen here, a zoomed in look here on Michigan. Let's go ahead and run this all the way through into Wednesday morning. Let's go ahead and early Wednesday morning here into later Tuesday, should I say. There's all your heavy rain, for example, but down here where some clearing out or there's some clearing going on down here, that's your center of your low pressure. There's a center of tropical depression Beryl. This is going to be Wednesday morning at 5 in the morning. So rain will kick up late Tuesday overnight into Wednesday morning. Now, as this tracks northeastward, how far west that track gets is going to be vitally important. Right now, the models do say we have a shot at the very least, the very far eastern portion of Michigan. We're talking like the very far eastern counties from Lapeer over to St. Clair, Macomb, Wayne, Monroe. Those counties especially would be on the highest concern for anything severe come Wednesday afternoon. This model here does show some storms developing here in Wayne County. They look pretty strong. The overall environment, though, across that location does look to support severe weather as well. We're still 2 days out from this, so don't lock anything in. A lot can change with these. But there's your overlap of wind shear instability here. With the low pressure being really close, that low pressure's vicinity is going to cause a lot of vorticity or some spin there and a lot of lift as well. So we have really good ingredients here. We have the instability. If we have the instability filling in, we could be talking severe weather chances come Wednesday afternoon here as Tropical Storm Beryl moves up into our area. Regardless, though, the overall concern remains to be flash flooding. With that current track, it does put us in line here in south central Michigan for some heavier rainfall. There is your heaviest rainfall here on the NAM3. This is likely overdone just slightly. This model throwing out 5 or so inches of rain across southwestern and parts of central Michigan. Overall, though, the overall concern for a heavier swath of rain does exist. We're going to still say 1 to 4 with isolated higher possible if that current track can hold. Now, if it tracks more westward, that would shift the heavier rain out of the state, but bring severe weather concerns. Now, if it shifts eastward, again, that would shift the severe weather concerns to the east, as well as that track of heavier rain. So, regardless of severe or flooding, I do think the overall risk is much higher for heavy or what we're going to call excessive rainfall here, as seen by the Weather Prediction Center here for the day 2 and day 3 outlooks. These will update today some point in the afternoon, but currently the marginal risk for some flash flooding here, excessive rainfall we call it, does exist for Tuesday night in the 94 corridor, but also on your day 3, much of south central Michigan in a slight risk for excessive rainfall. Again, this is not your severe outlook here. This is what we call excessive rainfall. They're different. They're correlated, but they're different. This is just measuring perhaps some flooding potential here with Tropical Depression Beryl as it moves up into Michigan. Outside of that, though, the severe chances still at this point do appear low, but perhaps watching more so closer for eastern lower Michigan. Now, as we jump ahead to the late week, very briefly touching on this, we're not going to dive in depth at all with this, just going to mention the CSU learning model. We use this model a lot to kind of get an idea of what this model is kind of thinking in regards to long-term severe weather here. We are still seeing both Sunday and Monday depicting some severe risk close to our area. This one here for Sunday, it does have the higher probabilities over Wisconsin and Minnesota right now, but it is close to Michigan. And also here on the day Tuesday, that does shift over into portions of Michigan. So we're still watching the late half of this week / this weekend into early next week. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday in particular for a potentially active pattern that's going to set up here. We're going to watch it. No details just yet. Just kind of monitor that time frame for updates if anything needs updated. We got you guys daily here at Michigan Storm Chasers here on YouTube. So feel free to follow back or check back up with us tomorrow morning. We'll have you guys covered with any updated information. So recapping today, showers and storms today across the state. Not shouldn't be severe, but wouldn't be shocked to see a strong storm or two try to take shape. Tropical Storm Beryl arrives Tuesday night with rain. Heavy rain is likely in some portions of south central Michigan. Severe threat, heavily dependent on the amount of instability coming in, but also the exact track of Tropical Depression Beryl. Overall, this will be updated again tonight by Alex on Facebook page. I'll be back here on YouTube with another video tomorrow morning, which would be Tuesday morning, July 9th. All right. You guys stay safe. Enjoy your day. We'll have updates for you guys with all the latest info in this week's activity.